scholar whose followers lived in Alexandria and this region, and they were the early Unitarians. After the time of Jesus, peace be upon him, there were Christians who maintained the belief in one God. They did not accept the Trinity. But in 325 AD, when Constantine called a great conference in Constantinople, he brought together all of the bishops of Christendom. Some believed in three gods, they were Trinitarians, and some believed in one God, they were Unitarians, led by Arius. The decision was made to accept the Trinity, and all those who refused were killed. Hundreds and thousands of people were killed. Arius himself was executed. But the teachings continued to spread all over North Africa and this region. So these are the Aristides that the Prophet ﷺ was talking about in the letter that he sent to Heraclius. Also, when he sent a letter to Muqawqis in Egypt, he said that accept Islam or you will have the sin of the Coptic people. And these Qibtiyyin who were living in Egypt, there were a group amongst them also believed in one God. And so Unitarians were living throughout this region. And Islam, in a sense now, in our reanalysis, was actually liberating the land from oppression and liberating Unitarians, those who believed in one God. And these are the people who accepted Islam in the Middle East, in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, all the way across, and they remained in the state of Islam for the most part up until now. And so Islam then spread out and went north, and it is reported that a group of people coming from North Africa approached the leader of the Muslims, Sayyidina Ahmad ibn al-As, radiallahu anhu. They approached him, and they asked for assistance to come into their land. And Umar ibn al-Khattab, the Khalifa of the Muslims, he cried when he heard this. Because he said the Prophet, peace be upon him, spoke about a people who would be living in this area. He described them in the same way that these people are described. And so Amr ibn al-As with the Muslims opened up Egypt with the assistance of the Christians. And it is well known in history that the Christian Coptics and Aristides assisted the Muslims and they opened up. They continued west. As they continued through this area, they established a base here in a city which eventually was called Qayrawan. Now some of these names are new to you, or many of them, because our curriculums are very narrow. But it is important now for us to understand something about the experience of Islam everywhere in the world. And so Qayrawan was developed as the base here in the north. When they reached the land, they found a name called Ifriqo. And so they called the land in Arabic Ifriqiya. And so the first modern use of the word Africa was in Arabic. They called the land Ifriqiya. This is now modern day Tunisia. And the base was Qayrawan. This was the western capital of Islam. The leader who was appointed to rule these lands was the Amir Musa bin Nusayr. And he based himself in this city, in Qayrawan. And this is an actual picture of the masjid in Qayrawan. It's a very important place because it is in this masjid, now present-day Tunisia. In this area, the great fuqaha of the Maliki school of thought, they sat in this area. Tahnun, rahimahullah, put together al-Mudawwana al-Kubra, the teachings of Imam Malik ibn Anas, rahimahullah. Also, great decisions were made, great ulama, who actually spread Islam all throughout the western section. They were based in this city of Qayrawan, and it's still there today. And it's something you get an opportunity to visit North Africa, to visit Tunisia. This is a very important thing. So this was the capital of Islam. This was the seat of authority in that region. But across in Europe, in what is now known as Spain and Portugal, they would call that the Iberian Peninsula. In this land, the population was ruled by busy-gods. They were ruled by Trinitarians who believed in three gods. And information comes clearly through the text that they were oppressing the Jewish people who believed in one God, and also the followers of Arius, and anybody who would not accept the Trinitarian rule. And so this was the condition across the straits in the Iberian Peninsula. And the king, whose name was Roderick, he ruthlessly attacked the population. Now this picture here, I want to tone things down and take sort of a travel log as well, which was the light and look better. This picture is actually taken from the great mosque in Cordova, which is now a cathedral. And you'll see how it was taken over. And for those of you who are into different signs and symbols, when it was taken over by the Trinitarians, they put in gargoyle creatures. And as you can see down here, they have a skull and crossbones. Skull and crossbones. And this is a sign, it's down here on the bottom, this is a sign which they use on pirate ships. It is also a Freemasonic sign. And they put this inside of the structure when they took over and consolidated their rule. And Roderick, he ruthlessly punished people. And so the people living in Iberia began to make a call for liberation. They needed help. So they called out across the strait into North Africa. And the Amir Musa bin Nusayr took Shura, he was living in Qayrawan, the western capital. He took Shura with his people to try to decide what to do. And he was approached by a Christian leader whose name was Julian, or Julian. Now the interesting point about this, he lived in a place called Ceuta. And Ceuta is still there in Morocco, right on the tip, controlled by the Spanish up until today. This Amir, or this leader, this prince of the Christians, he accepted Islamic rule. And he was allowed to maintain his rule as the people of the book within Islamic lands. He sent his daughter across into the Visigoth land, and she was violated, she was raped and humiliated by robbers. And so he asked Musa bin Nusayr, he went to Musa and asked him for assistance to take revenge for his daughter. Musa rahimahullah said, you start off, I want to see because here. So Julian he attacked. He sent his troops across, and he returned with spoils of war. So Musa bin Nusayr realized this man is serious. He took counsel with the Muslims. Should we liberate this land? The decision was, yes, we should. Because this is part of the dawah, this is part of our struggle, and that is to call to the good and to forbid evil things. And so he sent his general, Tariq ibn Ziyad, rahimahullah, and in 711, he crossed the strait into the Iberian Peninsula. This is a picture actually crossing the strait in between what is now Tangier, or Tanja, and Spain. How the strait actually looked. And when he reached, he landed on a mountain. And that mountain was called Jabal Tariq. The mountain of Tariq. Now you say the name Gibraltar. Have you ever heard the word the Rock of Gibraltar? They used to say in America, this building is as strong as the Rock of Gibraltar. This is a picture of the Rock of Gibraltar. That's what it actually is. When Tariq rahimahullah was going across the strait, he had a dream. And Rasulullah came in his dream with his companions, giving him glad tidings of victory. And when he woke up and realized it, he explained it to his followers. They landed on the shore, and in front of them was an army of over 100,000 men. After getting assistance, it was 100,000 of the Trinitarians against 12,000 men. Tariq rahimahullah spoke to them and said, we did not come here to live. We came here to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get victory or to meet Allah. And they went forward, and Allah gave them victory.